All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, how's everybody doing out there? I want to proceed with caution on this video. First and foremost, I want to send some love to Wale. If Wale is dealing with depression of some sorts, we want to say, you know, Wale, hopefully, because he's celebrating a birthday, right? Happy born day, Wale. We want to say, Wale, I hope you get the help that you deserve, man. I hope that you don't do something crazy to yourself and make that last sin. That there is no, to the best of our knowledge, there is no way to correct that last sin. So Wale, if you are thinking suicidal, I'm about to read you guys a series of tweets from Wale. If you are suicidal, Wale, I just pray you get the help that you deserve and don't make that one last sin of no return. So Wale took to his Twitter account to pretty much say he has been going through it. Recently he has been under depression. I mean, he's explaining depression to us. He said, I got uber depressed on my birthday. I'm gonna try and fight that with all my might. I got a lot to be proud of, although depression doesn't give a fuck. Sometimes you make a choice to be happy and that sucks, but whatever. I'm thankful for all the fan support I have. That really got me. I'm thankful to have several platinum records and to be an amazing creative space with a label that trusts me. And I'm thankful for Zala. I wanted to be Father of the Year every day, but life happens and I'm just a father. Trying. Praying one day she would know. I oftentimes feel that I'm the most misunderstood person on the earth, but any misunderstood person knows there's more. He went on to say, but anyway, 2 years ago on this day, I almost did something horrible and I'm thankful I failed at it. B-Day sucks to me. I don't want to lie to you, but recently I found a way to enjoy life a little bit more. I have ways to go, but the journey will be as beautiful as the destination. With that said, if you're reading this and got love for me, thank you from the bottom, top, and middle of my cold little heart. Love, Wale. I'm not like ungrateful / negative, just a little weird. 921. Love you if you love me. If you hate me, well, I'll just reluctantly like you a little bit. All right. Now, I want to set off this disclaimer before what I'm going to say, because people are going to call me mean for this. If Wale is 100% dealing with stuff outside of music, like some life stuff, which has him depressed, I want to send nothing but love and prayers to Wale. Because depression is a real thing, a very real thing, and social media is making it worse, you know. But if this is solely based on Wale's music space, which he has complained a lot about his music space, which I believe probably the music is the thing that starts everything else with his down times and his troubled times, because he's very, very high on being the best musician that he could possibly be, and he feels as if though he doesn't get opportunities that other comedians get, right? So where did all this start? I believe all this started with Seinfeld. So about, what was this, about 3 albums ago for Wale? That was the album About Nothing, if I'm not mistaken. Wale got Jerry Seinfeld, who is regarded as probably one of the best, if not the biggest comedians of all time. Wale got Jerry Seinfeld to do the album About Nothing with him narrated everything. It was dope, and it was something that we hadn't seen, I believe, at the time in quite some time, if at all, right? And Wale felt as if though that was supposed to be his moment. By the way, Jerry Seinfeld is worth $870 million. I just throw that out there. Wale felt as if though that was supposed to be his moment that would put him over the top, and 100% he would start getting looks as best rapper in the world. I believe that's what he thought. That didn't happen, I don't think. You know, and I think that's where Wale from there, I think, you know, if you look at the sales, I think it's been down since then. You know, the rollouts for the albums haven't made a lot of sense. I know he had a lot of issues with his label that he was on. He's in a better situation now, according to him. That Jerry Seinfeld moment, the album About Nothing, has rubbed Wale the wrong way, and it's probably the moment in his career that he'll probably characterize as the most important, the climax, right? The spot that he thought would be much more better received than what it was. And he feels as if though fans were not savvy enough to understand what he did. I agree. That is a masterpiece. And Wale, when he gets in the booth, still makes phenomenal records to me. Here's what pisses me off. In the music space with Wale, you're still at worst one of 10. I have a list of about 10 artists who, no matter when they're rapping, I'm checking for it. That list includes J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Chance the Rapper's in that list, Drake's in that list. I got and then I get real hip hop with it. I go Gates, Meek, and I'm talking about mainstream, right? This is the mainstream list. Gates, Meek, and a few other artists. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Jay's still in that list. When they rap, I listen. In the mainstream light, when they're on the radio, I listen. Because from that, most of my music that I listen to is in the mixtape circuit, in the streets, down south music, right? I'm listening to the Money Bags of the world, to the Lil Babies of the world. But when in that mainstream realm, when I hear those artists that I named, when they're in the mainstream realm, I listen to their verse, and I want it bar for bar. I'm listening to what they said. Wale's still in that list. I listen to his rhymes every time he gets on a record, and I hear it. That's a very special list to be on, in my opinion. And the fact that Wale doesn't understand that he's in that realm, I think most people would say he's in that realm, right? The fact that I don't think he understands the magnitude of being in that space and how he's been able to make money for what, closer to a decade now in this game, and is complaining because he maybe never got the look that a Cole or Kendrick got, right? Or Drake's getting, or what Chance is getting, right? So here's the funny thing about all that. Kendrick makes Wale's argument a tad bit watered down. Reason why I say that is, if Wale wants to say it's a light-skinned man sport, right? That most of the opportunities go to the Drakes, the Chance the Rappers of the world, heck, even the J. Cole's. Well, the problem with that is Kendrick Lamar is, if not known as the biggest rapper in the world. He does great with sales. He does great with tours. He ain't the one in your face doing all the social media antics. He barely even uses social media. He gives you the music, then leaves. So to me, that deads Wale's conversation about the dark skin. Let's play the dreadhead conversation, because Wale does possess dreads. J. Cole has some of the dirtiest dreads in America right now. Kendrick Lamar is growing his hair out. He's doing the braid thing right now. To me, that Kendrick doing the braid and dark skin thing, right? So that dispels that that rumor to me. And in my mind, I think Wale is using depression just to blame his content. Like, I'm guessing his content, even though it's very artistic, just doesn't resonate with people like Kendrick, Cole's, or heck, even a Drake's does. I'll leave Chance out of that list because I feel as if though Chance has a much younger fan base, he converts over with white audiences more and other races as well, much more than Wale does. I think people just like Chance. I think people grew up through Chance and his acid rap, right? So if Wale's mad and considering committing suicide because he's not in that elite class of top 3, I think it's very disrespectful to the game, man. I think it's very disrespectful. And by the way, I forgot Big Sean in my list earlier. Big Sean's in that list, right? The top 10 artists. Like, yo, to act like Wale isn't blessed to do what he does for a living, because there are thousands of artists out here looking for their spot. How do I know this? There are hundreds of artists in my DMs. There are thousands of artists out there looking for their shot. Millions, if not. Looking for their moment. Who would dream to be in that position. And from a musical space, it's frustrating to me that we're at the point where people have been in our community been getting money for a few years now, and now being ungrateful for that spot that they have. Now, Wale did acknowledge, I love my fans and not trying to ish on his fans, but in a way you still are by saying that this isn't a great life. Wale can go tour. Wale shows do great. He can still do the 2,000 seat venues. Maybe he never gets to that stadium. I'm not 100% sure if he'll ever get to that arena, right? But to act like Wale isn't a staple in our community, I check when Wale releases music. Maybe not as quick as I check for Drake's. Maybe it's not as quick as I check for J. Cole's or Kendrick's, but I still check for Wale when he releases music. I think Wale, all he needs to do is update his musical release process. And he is considering retirement. I heard that on his last project. He's considering retiring from rap. I think people will cherish Wale. I agree with those sentiments said on the Joe Budden podcast a couple days ago. I think people will cherish Wale more when he's gone, like a Joe Budden, right? But to act like Wale ain't got a spot in the game, to me, it's just very disappointing to hear that from somebody who's super talented. It's very skillful, creative as heck, and is just, I believe, incredibly hard on himself when he's still in that top realm to me. What y'all think, though? Wale announced that he almost killed himself. I think that's what he was alluding to. He said, I almost did something very bad to myself a couple years ago. He alludes to it that he's battling depression because he's not getting where he wants to be musically. I just don't agree with that, man. I just think Wale's still in that elite realm to me. What y'all think, though? I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
All the kids, they are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO.
You're watching Mr. TALIAFERRO TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.